just the basic ankle lock. And we'll move on to some counters and then some positions to get into there. So first I want to explain the actual ankle lock, so you might get on your back. So when you're taught, when I was taught the ankle lock, it's like old school jiu-jitsu. I come under, right? I grab that figure four grip where I'm grabbing my bicep and my hand goes on his shin. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to keep his toes in the back of my armpit here, where it turns into that foot lock, okay, the actual foot lock. So if you see, I'm grabbing here, I'm cupping here, and I'm getting this position, so I'm staying tight, okay? So when I started doing this, I realized I couldn't really catch anybody with it, and it wasn't working. And I started watching videos and seeing like actual UFC fighters and stuff like that, and they were all doing different types of foot locks, but they were actually catching people. So I started messing around with it, okay? So you can get tight here. The problem is if somebody has flexible ankles, or they do one of the defenses where they like turn we'll go over their heel kind of inside to your ribs, or get a boot, it's really hard to finish because all your leverage is going to those toes, where his feet can kind of just a little bit like of a twist or a little bit of a movement forward, it's gonna be hard to get, all right? So I'm gonna go over what I do different, and I get this one-handed all the time on people because of the way that I grab it. So instead of trying to control the back of his foot here with my armpit and coming under here, what I do is I try to get a good bite between his Achilles and the back of the heel, okay? So when I get that good bite, I'll even get it one-handed, okay? The other thing that I do is when people start getting ankle locks, they start bringing their hands to their belly for some reason. Well, he can just get his foot out, right? Even if I'm kind of tight here, turn your heel into me. See how easy that was? So when I get this position, whether it's one-handed or two-handed, I need to get a good bite, and I'm bringing my hand all the way up as high as I can so it's tight. At the same time, I'm bringing my elbow in, okay? So if you can see here, I'm in this position here, okay? I already feel that's tight without me doing anything else. So as soon as I get this position, I don't really care about the foot. I don't care about bending it backwards or doing anything like that, which later on we'll get into getting a good arch from the ground. But as soon as I can get this position here, I know I have an ankle lock. Like he's screwed. The second thing that I do different is I don't focus on bending his foot this way to get that ankle lock. I focus on getting my forearm right in this Achilles area and pulling up just like a guillotine, okay? And so what that does is it takes a lot of pressure off this, so people can be flexible if they want or have really good defense. But as soon as they start turning their leg one way or the other, I still have a good bite on that ankle, and that's where I can finish it, okay? So I get control here, I'm here. Then the second thing that I try to do, I can do it one-handed depending on how high I get, right? But I wanna at least grab my chest area, okay? Once I have a good bite on this, what I'm gonna do is I'm almost gonna grab a guillotine position, but instead of grabbing the bottom of my hand here and squeezing this way, I'm giving him a little bit of space. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come under, all right? So my palm of the heel is gonna come under this way, and I'm gonna push up. So now I'm keeping my elbow down, and when I get this position, right, now from here I can get that bite that I want, okay? And I'm not really going hard, and I'll have you guys actually try it out where I want to, before we move on to the next position. But when I get this position, that's where that's all that power comes from, is I'm here and I'm pushing up to get that position. My elbows come in and I'm squeezing. Again, my forearm bone is going right up against this. I'm not worried about bending the foot. That's not gonna do anything for me or anybody else out there, okay? So let's go out there, we'll practice this. Forearm under the bone, and I want the guy on the bottom just like this. We'll get into the actual positions, but if we can't get this first position down, then it's gonna be really, really hard to actually finish the ankle lock the way I want you guys to, okay? And it doesn't matter if we're out in the street and someone has boots on, someone has freaking tennies or whatever, or they're barefoot, because I'm a little bit higher, I'm not worried about, someone has boots, try to bend someone's legs when they have a boot. You're not gonna be able to, right? So now from here, if I got this position, they're not gonna be able to do anything. I've been in situations out there where as soon as I pick this up, people are giving up, going to their bellies, putting their hands behind their back because there's so much pressure on that ankle, Okay, so let's work on. So now we're gonna work on a couple things that people do to try to slow this down or try to completely make this a stall position or just counter it, okay? And then why the ankle lock that I do, why it's different, and how we can adjust for that, right? So I'm gonna let him get me those. So he gets me in that ankle lock, right? So it's really, really tight. Now, what's usually taught is I need to throw a boot on it. So what I'm gonna do, what that means is, real quick, I'm going to curl my toes back and extend my foot. As you can see, it makes everything tight, right? And the reason why this works in a normal type of ankle lock, not the one that we're doing, right, when he's there, if I can boot, now he bends back, go hard. This isn't, I'm gonna be fine, right? I just extend my foot. I'm not even really being strong from here, okay? The second thing I do when people that are really good, besides getting that boot where I have to get here, I turn my heel to the rib cage. Because now it changes the angle and he can't get that position, okay? And like from here, there's a bunch of cool stuff that you can do to counter, but all I need to do is just get into a safe place, right? Because now when I get to this position, I don't want to stay here. I need to bust a move so I can like get out of this position. But for the most part, as soon as I get here, I know I'm gonna be safe. So if I can throw a boot on and then get my heel into his rib cage, so try to finish that. It's kind of gonna be hard, right? And then from here, I can start sitting up, kick this leg through to get him back, right? So those are a couple things that people usually try to do on the ankle locks, but that's not gonna really work for this. So when I get this position, the reason why it works in a bunch of different variations is because as soon as I get a good bite, right, and I'm here, right? So I get this position, and I'm not gonna hold it very hard because I want you guys to see. So as soon as he boots, okay, that boot, if I do the normal one, I can't get that position that I want. But all I have to do now is change the angle. So instead of being here, I just get deeper and I can still finish. You see how his body's kind of turning? Because I'm putting that pressure right where I need it to be to finish, right? And right now he's on his back, but I actually have like an ashigarami position here, and he tries to boot, right? I can just make my way back, change the angle, and still try to get it, okay? And the other way that he tries to do is he doesn't boot, or even if he does, he turns his heel towards my ribs, okay? If I have a guillotine grip or this position, I don't even feel pressure, kind of tight, but he's not gonna tap from that. But from this position, it's easy for me to change the angle and finish. And he switches his hips because he doesn't want to get tapped. And now from here, I just make it even tighter to get the angle that I want. So as long as you can chase the leg with this position here, that's all that matters, right? Almost like you're rocking a baby, but because you have this position with the palm up against your other palm, I can actually move and stay tight. This guillotine position here, it works perfect for darces, reverse arm triangles. When I have that position tight, right, I can get one way or the other. For the ankle lock or Achilles lock, this isn't gonna work. I need to get to this position to finish that angle, and I could still finish that angle, right? If I'm on the ground, it's gonna be a lot harder because now I have to move my hips and still keep that angle. But if he's in my guard like this, I can jump on it really, really quick. I'm trying to pass, boom, I suck it up, I get here, he switches, well, I'm gonna switch. And I have it really, really quick, okay? So we'll work that really, really quick, okay? And then the guy on the bottom, just so you know, as soon as I get a position like this and you start getting the boot or start getting that position, don't stay here, okay? If the guy on top lets you do it, sit up, grab my shoulder and kick your leg through, right? To end it. Even if I get from here to here, I don't have anything. Now I have to switch back into my combat base, or if I'm gonna start passing, you know, one way or the other, okay? So work those escapes, and then we'll move on to better ways to finish the Achilles lock, all right?